they could somehow, 40 minutes of as much energy as they can exert on the defensive end.
Can you believe Nick Savage does not want to do the rewind with us?
In the world.
What
vibes are we giving off that he doesn't want to come join us?
I think he is such a talented young man who's going places. I just wanted to give him more of an opportunity, but it's all right. It's TexAgs Rewind, and it's presented by who?
Alpha Paving.
That's right. And they brought us this roadshow, right?
That's right.
God, I love those guys. Oh, well, at least half of them.
Who works there?
Brandon Leone, who I like a lot as a human and as a friend, and I like you too, believe it or not.
I appreciate it.
So today on the show, Billy Liucci joined us at 8:35, and it was a great discussion because we talked football, baseball, basketball. Why did we talk football? Spring practice starts today. Why do we talk basketball? We're here for the NCAA tournament. Why do we talk baseball?
Because we got a win last night.
We did, and that would be against Mississippi State. It was great. And Gavin Grahovic, I've heard it pronounced multiple ways, but Gavin Grahovic, a couple home runs, including a grand slam. We had Mark French on the show. You've probably not met Mark, have you?
I haven't.
He is awesome. Good dude. We broke down this game against Nebraska. The baseball bunch guys gave us everything. And then we had Justin, we had Hop, we had just analysts galore breaking down this game. Who are they playing against?
We are playing Nebraska.
Are we on the team?
We are on the team.
Technically, we are.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, we're cheering. We're part of it.
We're part of it, and so are you. Thanks for watching the Rewind. Check it out. Billy, what can Texas A&M not do tonight? What can they not do?
I think you can't have a lax stretch of defense. They're going to hit three. Look, they're going to hit threes. They're going to hit contested threes. You can't have a stretch where they're getting open look threes because you're a step or two slow, or because your defense as a unit falls off for several possessions in a row. Because if you let them get hot, then you think you're getting it back, and you might all of a sudden start playing better defense, and it doesn't really matter. That's what happens with these hot three-point shooting teams. We saw it with Florida, their last game. We saw it last year in their last two games with Alabama and Penn State. So they've got to break that. That's how it last year ended, with two teams just bombing them out of the gym from beyond the arc. And so Buzz and the staff, and they have to figure out what they're going to do to combat that. And then so do the players. Players going to have to be like, if they could somehow, 40 minutes of as much energy as they can exert on the defensive end. I know that doesn't stay the same every possession. I know we like to think that's possible, but it's not. But they can't go through long stretches of lulls. And I think the other thing is they can't fall behind early. Look, when they've been playing well, they've been playing well from the start. You look at all these games lately. Maybe Ole Miss they weren't, but I even think they started that one strong, and they fell off throughout most of the first half. That was like a 42-point half still, though, because I think they started out okay. So I think the start for A&M is big, because with this team, as we've seen, you can tell pretty early whether they're going to be shooting and feeling it, or whether it's going to be a grind.
It's a guy you're going to have to key in on, right? And, especially in March Madness, it's like there's these certain players on each team. So like Manny's kind of like this for us, right? Where they can swing the game. They're not the main scorer, but they're capable of a scoring outburst. You saw this, South Carolina struggled with this. The Oregon kid had 40. But, like, for us, it's probably Manny or Solo. Like, if they go and get 15-plus, like, it just changes the whole dynamic, right? And so for Nebraska, this is a kid we want to keep under 15, under 12. We really want to key in on. We don't need him going for 25, because that's what boosts the rest of the roster's confidence. And so kind of cutting the head off the snake's really important.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Why do you think Andy Garcia has got to have the best game of his career?
Yeah, so this is something we were texting about. I just think, like, I've felt Andy's presence the last few games, and obviously we've talked about how important he is to the entire makeup of this team, identity-wise, and also production-wise. But the reason I said Andy Garcia needs to have his best game of his career is that I think on the NCAA tournament, there's a level of energy and tenacity that's needed to just kind of overwhelm an opponent. And I think it starts and ends with him when it comes to us. And if him and Solo kind of combine and just we can kind of bully them a little bit and set the tone, I think it'd be huge. And I think Andy has another level he can go to. And I think he's been so good, but I do think there's even more to develop there. And that's something Coach Roccaforte and I talked about it at one point earlier this season. Is like, God, he's been so good. And Coach Rock was like, no, but there's so much more there. Like Andy could be so special. And I think on this stage, right, the brightest of lights, this is his opportunity to say, hey, I'm more than a rebounder. And now the whole country is going to see the type of impact I have on games.
I'm not going to give too much of what Bronny posted earlier this morning on the boards, because I think but it's interesting. You had a bunch of smart people in the back figuring out the distance of Gavin Grahovic's Grand Slam last night. And let's just say it was quite impressive.
Shout out to Callie Gardner and Matthew Dawson. Matthew Dawson, with his engineering background, actually constructed a formula that he thought would give us the estimated outcome, because TrackMan didn't track the distance. It got the 110 mile an hour exit velocity and the 28-degree launch angle. So the folks in the back played with those numbers a little bit. It's going to be probably around 460 feet, which if you were in the ballpark last night, that would have been about my guess.
I was told there'd be no math, but it certainly checks out.
Yeah.
Excellent job, Matthew Dawson.
My daughter tried. She put in a formula, and it was 638. So I wanted to go with 638, but she, and I know this isn't right, but it felt like 638 in the ballpark.
Well, Texas A&M students are very lucky the Student Rec Center is still standing.
Well, what a start for Gavin Grahovic's SEC career. Homers twice in Florida, homers twice last night. Look, they're not all going to be like this, but I said a couple of weeks ago that there's more power coming. Like me and Richard watch, and you too, Scotty, we watched so many of those fall practices and some of those pre-spring scrimmages, and he was hitting balls out to right field. Then he'd hit a ball out to center field. Then the next at bat, he hit a ball off the top of the foul pole in left field, and it's like, this kid is just different. If he swings at the pitches that he can do damage with, and that's part of just staying in the batter's box and learning, and he's done a great job with it. But if he controls the strike zone like he can, he's got a huge future here in the game of baseball.
I said it last night. You've got the Pac-12 Freshman of the Year and Freshman All-American. You got the SEC Freshman All-American and as a junior. Then you have Jace as a sophomore, who I thought he should have been, National Freshman of the Year. I liked his numbers in SEC play better because he got out of what hasn't happened to Gavin, his struggles in non-conference when people wouldn't throw to him. And then you go to this year. There are not any other team in the country that stacks that up 1, 2, 3.
You watch Nebraska defensively, they're you remember those championship productions where coaches would get the videos and watch the championship production stuff. Nebraska defensively, when they're helping and when they're really solid defensively, I feel like they're a championship production, getting into gaps. And so we can't be stagnant. We've got to get downhill and make the extra pass, but not necessarily make the extra pass to shoot the three, but to attack long closeouts. And if we can do that, I think that we can get Nebraska in some trouble there.
And this is one for both of you. I said earlier in the show, and it kind of goes back to your point, Justin, about the Winaga, that I say with a Spanish accent, that beyond getting him the rebound, let's put him in some positions where he's got to defend. I don't think he's got the strength to match up with a Boots or a Manny. If you get some switches and he's the one, I think not only will you have an easy time getting to the basket, I also think you could wear him down.
Yeah, absolutely. And they don't switch a ton, but whenever we do set ball screens, if we're popping, hit the pop guy and then drive it after that and put them in compromised situations, I think is the big deal. But if he's on a Manny, if he's on a Boots, get it in the middle of the court and try to drive it and make him either foul or make him have to guard, I think is key.
Hop?
Yeah, I think to me, Manny is the key. If Manny can force the action, get to the rim and score, it forces Nebraska to do some things to account for that. And that's when Wade can step into those open three-pointers. Boots can step into those open three-pointers. That's when he's most dangerous.
Offensively, one thing about this team, and it's been about this team for a while, is they go one-dimensional sometimes. How do they not go one-dimensional, Hop? I mean, is it really kind of based on the Manning matchup that you just brought up there, that if you can force some action to the rim, open up what's out there?
Yeah, that's certainly one way, and they'll do that. I think also I'd like to see a few high post entry passes and seeing some inside out. And, Solo and those guys have shown they can take it to the hole from the elbow.
Have you met Jackson yet?
I haven't.
You don't want to. You know why?
Why?
He always looks like he's ready to work out. Hey, Nuno, here's my water jug.
There he is.
Jackson.
Man, I
That
can't
is
believe
so
you.
ridiculous. That is actually.
Yeah.
Well, no, you do it like, hold on.
Look,
Let me pull up the Zoom so you can see. Look,
I hold down the
work out.
fort. I hold down the fort in Social Center today. It's so lonely and quiet in here, and this is the thanks I get.
I think it's a compliment. If somebody said to me, Nuno, you look like you work out a lot, I would be like, yes, you're correct, and thank you.
Yeah, and I would wear a size medium every day of the week.
It's a large, for the record. Thanks, buddy. Now, this guy over here, different story. All right. You want to tell the people what to do there, Jackson?
Yeah, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe.
Can you do it faster and with more energy?
Yeah, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. I can't
Now,
talk
can you
that fast.
rewind and do it again?
Wait, I can't rewind and say the word back.
Like that? You can't do that?
Like, comment, and subscribe.
All right, whatever. There's going to be somebody who writes, like, we don't need this kind of joking on our rewind, guys. Sorry. You get what you get. Thanks for watching, and thank you to Alpha Paving.